Guys, first we are discussing a rule called activity rule. So this particular rule purpose is activity rule purpose is to reuse the business logic. See, in Pega application, business logic is built in. Okay? So if you want to reuse any of the business logic and if you want to apply those methods, functions, conditions, anything if you want to implement, so all the things are configured in one single rule, that is activity. Okay? So using activity in 80% of the business logic, we are going to define using these rules. Okay, in 80% of the business logic we are going to define using activity rule. And this activity, what are the things available means we will having some methods which already built in Pega. So functions will be there, some predefined activities will be there. So predefined activities means we can also call them as APIs. So sometimes we'll be using methods, functions, and APIs in the whenever we want to implement any logic in the application. See, not only like if you want to perform different actions like database connections if you want to do, and work to integration mapping if you want to do, integration to work mapping. So any kind of business logic, like if you want to communicate with external applications, external databases, internal databases, so all that configuration we can do using activity rule. So everything is built in, just what is our requirement, accordingly we need to use this methods and functions. Okay, and in this come under technical category. So every rule come under technical category. See, today don't worry about the some methods I'll be discussing today, but don't worry about the logic part today. Just understand some use, and we will understand some debugging process first, like what is the debugging process in activity, like a clipboard, using clipboard how to debug activities. And there is one more tool called tracer, using tracer how to debug activities. We'll just understand one scenario today. So after that, if time is there, I'll implement the real business logic. Okay, but what are the things which first of all I'm going to discuss in today's session? So it will be like a understanding about activity, don't bother about the logical part. So logical part at the end of class we'll be working one example. But before that, what are the things I'm going to explain, just to know the concept. Okay, no need to worry about the logical part today, because we are going to so understand what is the process to debug activities using clipboard and tracer first, and some basic instructions are there that we are going to understand again. So these things we are also going to reuse in the coming examples. Okay, and first of all I'll open activity, so I'll explain the options step by step. So to open activity, we'll open from technical category, and see business logic means when I add any number of steps. Suppose if your business logic requires methods are required, steps can be defined. Sometimes within one method also we can complete a requirement. So based on the requirement we get, so in activity we'll be adding some series of steps. So in each step we can use one method or we can use one API we can use, and internally we'll be using the other things like functions, conditions, and all. So whenever required we are going to map them. Okay, so first of all open one activity. We can open from technical category. So if you go to technical category, you can open this activity. So I'm giving some name as child activity. So in this activity, I want to use these table properties I want to use. See, in the previous sessions, so I created the state table which contains two columns, state and state name. See, generally today I'm not using any database methods, but I want to just use the properties from the states table. See, this activity we are creating in the work layer. Okay, but if I want to use the properties from data table or data type, so we need to specify the data type name or data class name in the pages and classes we have to define. Okay, see, pages and classes in most of the rules we'll be getting, but in every rule no need to use them, but whenever required I'll tell you. Okay, so but in activities regularly we'll be using these pages and classes option, because we'll be doing the mappings, work to data, data to work, like that. So different mappings we have to do. So if I want to use the table properties in activity, so I'm going to define this table name, so which is alpha hyphen data hyphen states table. And for this I'm giving some reference page. Okay, and reference page means, see, earlier I told work layer means the default page will be py work page, but if you're using any other classes, I told this statement at the time of explaining clipboard option. Okay, see, earlier I told that pwork page is a default reference page for the work layer or work classes. Okay, but if you're using any data classes or integration classes, we need to particularly specify some page name. Okay, so here for the states table, so you can give any user page name you can give, and this page will be added to clipboard. That is one purpose. Another thing is, under this table, if you want to use any properties, that is two properties are there in this table, or two columns are there in this table. So to use the columns from this table, this page will act as a reference page. So two things will be doing with this page. So it will act as a reference page for the properties under this table, and this page use it to debug any data from the clipboard level. Okay, in this table, any debugging if want to perform, so using this page we can debug. And like that, if you want to use any table properties or any other class properties, so we need to define in the pages and classes. And here no need to particularly mention work layer name, because already we are creating this activity in the work layer. And okay, in the coming scenarios you'll understand. Today's scenario not required the topic, I'll explain it later. Okay, so after the pages and classes are defined, then go to steps tab. See, in steps tab, actually some parameters will be there in every step. Like step 1 you'll be getting automatically. So if you want to add some other methods, like so 3 methods are required means, so we need to add 3 steps, we need to add 5 methods are required means 5 steps we need to define. Okay, and in every step some parameters will be having here, but all are not mandatory. See, in every step method is mandatory, remaining and all optional. Okay, if requirement is there, then only we'll be using. Today I'll be using 1 2 options I'll be showing, like that activities regularly I'll be adding in the application, then I'll show the other options step by step. So just I'll give a purpose now. So label means, like it will be, suppose if you want to block any method, like if you want to this complete step if you want to block without executing, so in the label option you can just give. So if you give this comment or double dash whatever, so this step will not get executed, it will directly execute from step number 2 it will start. So like that, in between when executing or when you are verifying any logic in the application, so any step if you don't want to execute, so we can just pass this comment. So here if 1 and 3 will not get executed if you give this label. Or some conditional parameters also will be giving in the label. If condition is true, jump to this step. If condition is false, jump to this step. Like that, we can also pass some condition parameters also we can pass. So that is about the label. And you'll have this loop condition. So loop condition means some if you want to repeat the same logic for different results in the application, so then different results means, like when you fetch any data we will be having like multiple results it will be fetching. So if you want to repeat the same logic for all the results, some loop conditions are there. Okay, that I'll implement in the advanced scenarios will be getting that. So like loop is nothing but some loop conditions are available. And when condition, actually this is called precondition. And in the end of step also you'll be getting one gem, that is also called as when condition only, but post condition. See here again, in every step, before method and after method, you'll be having pre and post conditions will be there. Pre means if condition is satisfied, then only execute the method. Okay, and post means after the method execution, we can add some condition, and if condition is satisfied, then only execute the next steps or jump to some other step or completely exit activity. Like that we can apply different again some conditional parameters also will be there. So like in every step we'll get this pre and post, but if requirement is there, then only we'll define them. Okay. And method in the down arrow you'll be getting so many methods, but in this practically we'll be using only 25 to 35 maximum methods we'll be using. Why many methods will be there means for these methods some alternate options will be there. What are the method list we have in the drop down itself? Some APIs also will be there and instructions also will be there. So all those things step by step we'll understand. Okay. And which method to use, like methods here categorized into different types: obj methods, rdb methods, page methods, property methods, connector methods, or like that some 5 to 6 categories, main categories are there. So depend upon requirement we'll be using them. Okay. And there is an option called step page. Step page purpose is like a in your page and classes, if you're defining any new user pages, see this is not a built-in page, right? We define this manually. Okay. So any new pages and classes are defined, so then we have to map this page name under the step page. What this step page will do means, so this will add the page to the clipboard for debugging purpose. That is one purpose. Or if I want to particularly choose any properties from any reference class, like a, if I want to choose any table properties or anything, so at that time the beside the method name we have to use the step page again. Okay. Two purpose will be there that you will understand in the, okay, today you'll understand one case. Like that in other scenarios also you'll understand about the step page. Today I'll show you what is the use of step page. So like that these are the options you'll get in every step here. But if only requirement is there, then only we'll fill these parameters. If requirement is not there, no need to fill every parameter. Then but in every step method is option, method is mandatory. Remaining of all the options whatever we have in every step, these are optional. Only in case of requirement, then only we have to define, otherwise not required in every step. Okay. So now one regularly some 2 to 3 methods regularly in every activity we'll be using. So today first I'll explain about 3 basic methods. I'm going to explain like that many other basic methods are there. First I'm going to explain about 3 methods now. See, whenever any page and classes are defined, any new page and other classes like data classes or integration classes are defined, so these methods are optional only. It will not affect your business logic anything. So there is some methods called page new. So what this page new will do means, and next to the page new in the step page option we have to use the page called child page. Because see what is the purpose of page new means, so this will add the new user pages to clipboard. See, because this is the new user page, right? So any new user pages defined in page and classes, so optionally this is not mandatory thing, but in the real time it is a best practice. So they will be using this method page new, and what is that new page they will be adding that to the clipboard is they has to select in the step page drop down. Okay. And when they are using this page new method in the end of activity, they will be using a method called page remove. Why page remove, I'll tell you. And what is the page we are going to remove? Same page, but during execution you need to block this step. So whenever you execute any activity, during execution we need to block this step, because if you don't block this step, what happens means we cannot perform any debugging, we cannot perform, because page will be added. So this page will be added, or what are the method we define, that method parameters will assign to the clipboard, and the page will be removed from the clipboard. Okay. So whenever we, okay, take page new method, so page remove compulsory will add in the end of activity. But if you execute that activity, we need to block that step. Okay. Only execute the page new, and other methods whatever you have taken, just execute those steps. Just we need to block the page remove method. Okay. So whenever you add this page new, so you have to compulsory at the end of step, so you have to include this page remove method. Actually these two are optional only guys, just for debugging purpose. Apart from that, so it will not affect any business logic in the activity role. Okay. So these are optional, but every activity, if any new pages and classes are defined, they can include these optionally. Okay. Now, and here methods means for some methods you'll get some parameters. If you expand the arrow left side of the method, some arrow option you'll be getting. See, for some methods you'll get some parameters, okay, but not for some methods optional parameters will be there, and for some methods mandatory parameters will be there. See, for page new and page remove, actually no need to fill any parameters, so those are just optional. Maximum we don't give any parameters for the page new and page remove. But if you take the next method I'm going to discuss is property set. What is that property set means? So in order to assign values from one property to other property, generally we'll be mapping in the today's session. Don't worry about the logical part, just understand the debugging process. But in the coming scenarios, we'll be mapping from work to data, data to work, integration to work, data to integration, like the different mappings we'll be doing. At that time, always any two set of properties, like if want to map work to table and table to UI, if want to fetch, like any mapping if want to do, so always we'll be using a method called property set method. This is the regular method used in most of activities. So what this property set will do means we can assign values to property or set values to property. Okay, so it will hold the value. What are the value given in the UI? We can map to the data table, or any from data table if we have any records that we can fetch and display to the UI. Okay, but here everything, the thing is, I told any mappings if you do, I told that clipboard is a main interface. Any mapping if you do, so if you are using property set method, what happens means, what are the kind of properties like work to table or table to work if you map, so it will only map to the clipboard only. Again from clipboard if you want to map to the table, or from clipboard to the UI if you want to map, again some additional methods we will be using in the coming scenarios. So don't worry, you'll understand better about this method in the coming scenarios. You'll understand. Today the purpose of this method is to just set values to property or assign values to property. And actually in this property set method I'm going to map the values for state code and state name. Actually state code and state name properties are under the table class, states table class it is there. I told you one thing, if you want to choose the properties from this table, so you can give a reference page called child page. So what I'm going to do means, see here, not only for the page new page remove, sometimes for the remaining methods also we'll be using the step page. So here the purpose is it will add the page to the clipboard, and here it will remove the page from the clipboard. But here the purpose of the step page reason is, see here we can choose the properties from the table class. So if you are giving this step page, what happens means we can assign the properties, that is we can choose the property names from here. You can see if you click on dot option, see property set contains two parameters, property name and property value. See in the next scenarios means we don't hard code the value in the property value, but today we are going to hard code them to understand the debugging process. But in the coming scenarios we don't hard code, we'll be mapping either work or integration class properties we are going to map here. But now today I'm going to just, if you see, if you define the step page, then you can access the properties from the table class. See, if I remove the step page, what happens means collapse, and once I remove the step page name, see earlier means I'm getting the table properties, but when I didn't define the step page name, so by default this activity, wherever you create this activity, current class properties we can access by default. See currently it is created in the work layer. So if you don't mention the step page, we can access only the work class properties we can access. Okay, so here if you want to choose these table properties means you need to, some cases will be using step page, and there are some scenarios where without using step page also will define the properties set method. Okay, so now I'm giving the step page because I want to assign values to table properties. Don't bother about the business logic part today, we'll just understanding the debugging process today. Okay, so I'm going to assign some values here. I'm hard coding, but in the next scenarios we don't hard code the values. As of now just I'm hard coding the values, but in the coming scenarios we'll be giving the work class properties we have to mention, or integration class properties we have to mention. But now hard code, because to understand the debugging process I'm just going to hard code the data. So value will assign to the state code property in the table class. Okay, you may get these warnings, no issues. Activity generally will be getting the regular warnings, no need to worry. So once again, so activity purpose is in order to implement the business logic. So it will have different things, methods, and where to use the functions I'll discuss later, and how to use APIs also in the next example, next scenario you'll be understanding. But today we are not practically using all the APIs. Just we'll understand how to use APIs today by using some instructions, and functions you will get in the coming cases. Okay, methods where to choose, just we have introduction only, right? So we know how to use the methods, from where we have to use the methods. In the method drop down you'll get all the method list. Functions I'll tell you actually where to use functions means in the, you'll be having something called expression builder, not today but in the advanced sessions you'll understand that. And some parameters are there in every step, right? Just I have given the information or description for every parameter: label, loop, precondition, method, step, page, post condition. So once review all the parameters. So label is to block the execution of the step or pass some conditional parameters. So loop is to add some, you'll be getting some loop conditions based on the type of property. And precondition is before method any condition if want to define, so we can add it in the precondition. So method is just we have to choose the name in the drop down. And step page is nothing but it will add user pages to clipboard, or any properties if you want to choose any reference class. If you want to give a page name, we can select in the step page option, we can choose. And jump condition, after the method execution any condition if you want to execute, we have to define in the jump condition or post condition or transition we'll call. Okay, and here these three methods just I'm discussing. Page new purpose is to add pages to clipboard, and page remove purpose is remove pages from the clipboard. But during execution we need to block this step. Okay, page remove will define compulsory, but we need to block that step. So I'm just showing how to use this property set, but more scenarios you'll get in the coming cases. Just I open some activity and I'm using these table properties in these activities. So if we're using any other class properties from the current one, we have to mention in the person classes. So I define the table name and give some reference page to that. Reference page can be any name we can give, except for the work layer. Remaining other classes if you're using, you can give any user page name. But for work layer and all, the default page is p work page. But apart from work layer or work classes, if you use any other classes, you can enter any name we can give as a page name. Okay? And here I'm just taking these first page new and page remove methods I'm taking. Then you can add this method property set method and fill the parameters in that method. Just you can give some values, hard code the values. Now I want to show the debugging. Generally activities when I create, we can execute activities and just debug using clipboard. Okay, individually we'll be debugging activities separately. So earlier we have seen flow level. From flow how to debug activity, from flow how to debug using clipboard we have seen. But sometimes activities when we create, will debug in the individually we are going to debug and check in the clipboard tool. So let's see how to debug this activity using clipboard. Actually clipboard will be there in the footer, that we know. But this time when you're debugging individual activity, in activity wizard will be there, run wizard will be getting, from there only we'll open, we will not open from the footer, no need to open. Let's see the process. Just go to, so here now we are doing just executing this activity, and we are going to debug using clipboard. That is what happens in the background means these values will be sent to the clipboard under the page called child page. Okay, see what this execution will do means page new will add the page to the clipboard, and property set what it will do means what are the values given here, these values will assign to the state code and state name properties. And where you can check means inside this page you can check it in the clipboard under the child page. So there will be user page will be created. So this under this page we can check the values given to the state code and state name properties after execution. So that we are going to show, I'm going to show you. So for this, go to actions and run. So what are the wizard open, this is a run wizard. Okay, so here we need to click on clipboard. Okay, first of all again, first of all you need to click on run option. So when this run wizard is displayed, so in this again click on this run option. Then some status window will be getting. You can close this status window. And now from here you need to click on the clipboard. Okay, now open clipboard from this wizard itself. And clipboard will first of all contain user pages. So here under the user pages and alphabetical order, if you check, so child page is the user page given, and for the child page the reference class will be your table class. So click on this child page. You can see the values which are assigned to the state code and state name properties. Okay, so that is just a basic process. Like that, if you are more methods, if you are adding in your activity, so same way we can debug in the clipboard. Okay, this is just a basic understanding, guys. Like that, we'll be adding more methods and more scenarios in the next classes. Okay, that you will again understand more ways how to debug using the clipboard. Anyway, anytime the process is same. So once again I'll quickly show you. So after you click on the run option, just open the clipboard, and in the child page you can see the values which are assigned to the property is called state code and state name. Okay, and this page will be shown in the clipboard. This is a user defined page. Okay, after using this page new method, or after defining the page name in the step page, this will add to the clipboard. Earlier it is not there, but after giving the page name in the step page, this will add it in the clipboard page. So like that, some debugging process and all we can do using the clipboard. Any activity if you create, we will be just verifying that whether the values are assigned to the correct path or not. We are going to verify. Now next one is, there is some other tool called tracer. Okay, so what the tracer will do means, see, clipboard means server level debugging. Suppose if values are assigned means it will show the value. Suppose if there is some problem with your business logic, okay, generally in clipboard you will not be getting any error. No, it will not show any errors in the clipboard. Suppose if values are there means it will show the page name. Otherwise, if values are not there means it will show blank data. Okay, it will not throw any error or anything. Suppose if any mistake is there in your activity mapping, like any methods, if you are, when you are defining any parameters in the method, some mistake if you did, so then such kind of issues we can only find in the tracer tool. What tracer will do means it will execute. Actually tracer, we can debug many rules in application, we can debug, but by default this tracer will be debugging activities, some data transform rules and when conditions. What are data transforms, I'll discuss later, but by default it will be debugging only 3 to 4 rules only, it will debug. So in that, activity is one of the main rules. Sometimes if the results if are unable to get and check in the clipboard means, then we can get the step by step logs. What tracer will do means, we can get the detailed step by step logs in the tracer. So in which step the issue is there and all, it will also display some errors also, it will display. So how to use the tracer, let's see. Before that, once again I'll repeat this. So after we execute this activity, so how to debug your activity using clipboard means, so after we click on run, so in the run widget again we need to click on the run option, then click on the clipboard button, then it will display the page in the, we can check the clipboard page and open that, and you can see the values in that. Same way, whenever we get a requirement to debug using tracer, so tracer will debug any rule in application, but mainly and by default it will be debugging only 3 to 4 rules: activities, activity steps, data transforms and when conditions. Remaining rules if want to debug means some tracer settings will be there, we'll be using in the coming classes. So tracer is, it will record the step by step execution details of any rule in application. Any rule by default means activities, activity steps, data transforms and when conditions. But other rules particularly found to debug means some settings will be there. Which rule you are going to trace, some enable, we have to enable that particular rule, we have to enable. Okay, that I'll discuss in the coming scenarios. So how to debug using tracer, let's see. See, if you close the run widget, once again click on actions and run. Now see, in the clipboard if want to debug means first run then open clipboard, but coming to tracer, so in the run widget first we need to on the tracer. So first click on this trace button, So then it will open this window and minimize the window, and now click on this run option. So tracer and all, if you on the tracer, then only it will show the logs in the tracer tool. Okay, so first we have to on tracer, then we need to click on run. Now maximize that window, tracer window. See here, though three methods are there in this activity, so the page remove method is blocked, so any blocked steps are there, it will not show in the tracer logs. So if you want to check the tracer logs activity begin, from bottom we need to check, then every step will have a step begin and step end. Okay, every step will have step begin, and at the end of every step it will show the status. So at the end of every step it will show the status. Okay, if good means it is fine. Okay, sometimes you may get fail or false. Okay, false means like maybe input is not given, but fail means some issue is there with that particular step in step, or regarding that particular method some issue is there, we have to correct that issue. Okay, so and again second step property set step begin and step end. At the end of activity you'll get the status whatever it is. Good means everything is fine. Suppose in any case if you get any status as fail means some issue is there, and if you open that particular step, which what is the issue and all, some description also you'll be getting. So any issues if you want to debug like that, so in clipboard means only server level debugging. If values are assigned means it will show the values, else we need to check it in the tracer sometimes. First always preference is clipboard only. In clipboard if you are unable to get any data, then we'll go for the tracer tool. Okay, so tracer will give the step by step logs it is going to generate, and where is the issue in that particular method. Suppose now only 1 2 methods I taken, but next cases maybe we'll be working on some more steps will be adding. So at that time where is the issue we have to find out means we can go with the tracer, and any issues are there it will show in the logs, and then we need to correct that issue easily we can do. Okay, like that here it is no coding, right? So automatically, so anything if want to debug easily we can debug. Okay, mostly you don't get any errors. Okay, maximum there is no very less scope for errors. Okay, see, but if you get any issue also we can easily debug using these debugging tools are available. We can easily debug them. Okay, suppose I will do some mistake and I'll show us how it will be. I want to clear these logs. Once minimize and minimize this window. See, run wizard if want to continuously execute means no need to close the window every time, just minimize that window. Okay, some step I'm adding in this activity. Okay, actually this time I'm not using this user page because I'm using work class property. Just I'm assigning some value. See, actually the value I've given as by 0. So by 0, when you save this step, you'll not be getting any error or any issue. In clipboard also, it will not show any error. So if you debug this, see, it is like arithmetic issue. Okay, but it will not show an issue in activity level, or in clipboard level, it will not show an issue. But when you check this using tracer, so already tracer is on and run wizard is also open. Just click on run. Now it will show these new logs will be showing in the tracer with some error in the last step which I created. It will show the issue as fail. Okay, so why means the reason is simple. So the value which is given is not matching with the template, so it is showing some arithmetic exception issue. So by 0 we should not give. Okay, so if I correct that issue it will be resolved. Okay, the error will be removed. Okay? Like that. So any issues are there we can debug using activity. By mistake if you give any wrong parameters in activity, or by mistake if you did not fill the parameters correctly, then you may get such kind of issues. So those things and all we can correct using this tracer, we can correct. Okay, so like that whenever we create activities, so this is just a basic thing guys whatever I've given introduction. So like that activities when we create we'll be debugging using these clipboard and tracer. So clipboard means when you are using clipboard, first of all click on run and then open the clipboard. Okay, and in clipboard the debugging is server level debugging will perform. where we can see the values under the user pages. And tracer means step by step logs will be step by step for every method. So it will create a log and it will give the status for every step, and if anything is wrong means it will give the status as fail, and accordingly we need to open and check that issue. Okay, and we can correct that issue, in which step the issue is there we can correct that issue. So like that, if you are using tracer means first on the tracer and then click on run option. But clipboard means first run then open the clipboard. Okay. So like that, these things and all, whenever I work on activity, so regularly I'll be using these debugging tools. Okay. So sometimes I'll be using clipboard and sometimes I'll be using tracer also. Okay. Again, in the next scenario also, I want to show you how to use the tracer. So this is just an introduction. Like that, one more introduction I'll be giving some instructions we have in activity. So let's explain those instructions also. See, instructions also available under the method option only will be getting. Okay, in every step under the method drop down. So there are some three instructions. Actually, there are two other instructions like Java and other instructions we have. But the three instructions which I'm discussing come under one category. That's why first I'm discussing these three instructions. See, the purpose of these three instructions, call, branch, and queue. See, coming to activities, what happens means sometimes we'll be calling one activity in another activity. See, activities and all, again, see, predefined activities we have, and what are the activities we are adding, those are user defined activities. So sometimes we can call one user defined activity in another, or sometimes in the activity we can also call predefined activities we can call. So in order to call one activity in another activity, so using any above three instructions will support. Okay, but what is the difference between the three instructions are the execution pattern will be different. Okay, so if you take call or branch or queue, in all the three the execution sequence or execution pattern will be different here according to our requirement. So which format of execution is required, accordingly we'll be using these instructions. Okay, today you'll understand how to use them and what is the execution pattern. So let's take, already I'm having this activity, right? This child activity is there. Already we are having one activity. So what I'm going to do is, so this activity I want to call it in a some new activity I'll be creating. So create one more activity, and after saving your activities, refresh Explorer. So you can say category called technical category. Once refresh Explorer, so you'll get this technical category. So you can create activity directly from here also. Right click on technical activity. So I'm giving a name, and in this also I want to use the table properties because I want to show you how these instructions will work first of all, and from the next example we'll work on actual business logic. So in this also I'm using the same table class. The states table is there, right? So I'm using once again in this table, but this time give a different page name. See, last time in the previous activity we have given some page as child page, but this time give a different page. So I'm giving some page name as, so parent page, and then go to this steps tab. So now for the properties in this table, this page will act as a reference page. Okay, so go to steps tab, and now, so what I said, you can use these methods optionally. So page new, because see, remember, any new page is defined in your page and classes, so use this method. So page new means, so in the drop down you can choose the parent page, and in the end of activity add this method page remove, but block this step, we are debugging, right? So block the step, and in between this I'm going to use the other methods. So now after the step number one, add a new method. So how to use the instructions we'll see now. So first of all I want to show you call instruction. So you can see starting in the method drop down only you can choose instructions also. So select call. See how to use instructions means after selecting the instruction, give a space, give one space and click on down arrow. You can see your user defined activity name is there. You can just select that. I'm going to call the, see this requirement is I'm going to call the child activity inside the parent activity. Okay. So select the instruction and give a space and call the activity name. See like that in the coming classes we'll also use some predefined APIs. See Pega contains some, if you go to more option, so Pega contains some predefined activities. So those also will be using in the coming classes that I'll discuss later. Now I'm calling this user defined activity, and in this step no need to define step page. Step page is not required. And after this I want to add one new step. Again I'm taking property set. See after instructions also if you want to define any new methods. Okay, as of now in this I'm using this property set method, and again set some values for the state code and state name. Okay, don't worry why I'm adding. I want to show the execution sequence here between all the three instructions so that in the coming scenarios we'll be again reusing these instructions, when to use and all, then you'll understand easily. So today I'm just showing the execution pattern of all the three instructions. See now what you need to do means in order to know the execution pattern, try to debug using tracer, because here there is no error or no issue. But why I'm going to debug this thing with tracer means so you'll understand the execution sequence, you'll understand in which order the steps gets executed, the methods or the steps get executed. You can understand the sequence. So because if you know the sequence of execution, then only we can reuse in the coming scenarios where to use call, where to use branch, then you'll understand in the coming scenarios. So what I'm doing is, so run this activity using tracer, that is run this activity and debug using tracer. I told that tracer if you want to debug means first on tracer. Okay, see sometimes you may get these launch multiple tracer sessions. Actually tracer session timeout will be very less given in personal edition. So what you need to do, if you get this error means you will not be able to open the tracer again. You need to log off and log in once, then only it will work again. So what I'm going to do means try to log off and log in. If you get any such error, so you have to once again log off and log into the session. And again open activity and do the debugging process. You can open some recent items also, no issue. So open parent activity and debug, run and debug using tracer now. So we'll understand the tracer logs now. So first on tracer, now minimize and click on run. So you'll be getting some status window. You can close the status window. Open this tracer and see the logs. See in tracer when you are using, see from bottom if you verify, so it will start with parent activity step, it will start. So then it will see first page new method, then call child activity. See in child activity two steps are there, right? It is presently running steps, two steps are there. So it will complete the steps and again it will go to the, in the parent activity same step it will go. Okay, it will start the call child activity. After completing the child activity steps, it will go to the same step in the parent activity, and after that any steps are there, it will execute the remaining steps. See what call will do means every step it will execute in sequence. Okay, see one after another in your activity. So wherever you did use these instructions or wherever the what is the sequence of order given, so in the same order it is going to execute all the steps in the activity. So simply saying what call will do means call will execute the all the steps in sequence. Okay, so simply saying if you need a sequence execution one after another, all the steps you want to execute, then we need to go for call instruction. Okay, so call means no change in whatever the order given, in same order it will execute all the steps till the end of activity. Okay, so page new, call child activity, in these two methods are there, and again come back to the same step in the parent activity, and after that any steps are there, it will execute the remaining steps. Property set is there, it will execute the property set. Okay, now what I'm going to do means, so call means there is nothing much difference, because it will execute everything in sequence. So in which order given and wherever you use the call instruction accordingly, it will start with start step number one and execute all the steps in sequence. Now what will be difference is, if you use the instruction branch, see the execution, what you can see in the tracer. So if you use the branch instruction, so the logs will be slightly different from the previous execution. So already tracer is on, just click on run. So now if you compare the call logs with the branch logs, so it will start the execution branch child activity, and after the if you can see in the child activity what are the steps are there, it will execute them, and it will come back to the branch child activity. The thing is, if you compare the child the previous logs for the call, and if you compare these branch logs, so what is the difference is, in call activity, so it will execute after call any other steps are there, it will execute the remaining steps. But in case of branch, if you see, after branch if any other steps are there, it will not execute them, because wherever you use branch, that is the last step in execution. Say if you are using branch, what happens means, it's a like a branch will be the last step executed. After branch any steps are there, it will not execute them. Okay, generally when we will be using branch means, if condition, any conditional execution if want to perform, if condition is true, go to this step, if condition is false, go to this step, like that. Any, as of now I didn't define any conditions, but I'll show the conditions in the coming cases. But if you need any conditional execution, only that particular step only will be executed, it will not execute any steps after branch. So if you need any conditional execution, then we need to go for branch. So if they ask you difference between call and branch, call will execute all the steps in the activity in sequence. Okay, branch means, so wherever you use branch, that is the last step executed. After branch any steps are there, it will not execute the other steps, or remaining steps it will not execute. Wherever you use branch, that is the last step executed. If there are no conditions means, even after any steps are there after branch, it will not execute them. Okay, but in coming classes how to implement conditions I'll discuss. Okay, like that there is a third instruction, which is q. So in the same step, replace this instruction with q. So one common thing in all the three is, it will call other activities we can call, but execution pattern will be different. See what happens with q means, in case of q, it will be like a parallel execution. If you require a parallel execution, parallel means, here it will start the child activity, but without completing that, it will proceed with the parent steps, it will proceed. So the thing is, here both the parent and child activity, both the steps will be executed parallelly. So even if this child activity started, it will not wait to complete, it means it will not complete that. Without completing that, it will proceed with the parent activity steps, it is going to proceed. That is, the child activity will be executed in the background along with the parent activity steps. So that is, if you need a parallel execution, both the called activity and the parent activity steps if want to execute parallelly, then we need to go for the queue instruction. That is, two business logic if want to at a time if want to execute, like a approval process want to done at the same time, and verification process at the same time if want to do. Just example like that, two business logic if want to execute parallelly, then we need to go for these queue instruction. But very rarely, see, most of the scenarios will be using call only, but some cases, very 5% cases only, these branch and queue will be used. Okay, but most of the cases will be using call instruction only will be using. Now once check the logs for the, so tracer is already on, run the widget. So if you see the logs for the queue, So it will start this page new and child activity, but it will not wait for the, and it will not show the complete logs for child also, because child steps will be executed in the background, and it will proceed with the parent activity steps. That is, without completing the all the steps in the child, the parent will proceed with the remaining steps here. So both child and parent steps will be parallel executed in case of queue instruction. So like that, we'll be having these three instructions in activity mainly in order to call one activity another activity. So we can go with any one of these instruction based on our requirement. What is our execution requirement? In which pattern it should be executed? So any one of these instructions we'll be using, because most of the times we'll be in activities we'll be calling other activities. Instead of user defined, most of the cases will be using predefined activities will be calling. User defined activities, very less cases only, very few cases only will be getting, but most of the cases will be calling predefined activities will be calling. Okay, at the time mostly means I'll be using, means anywhere in the real time also mostly will be using call. Then some cases we may use branch and queue also. Whether we use or we don't use, we must know the purpose. Okay, so that is about the difference between call, branch and queue instructions case. Okay. So that is just introduction. Till here, just introduction only. So now next example which I'm going to start, from there the actual activity we are going to understand. Okay. So any questions first of all up to here? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, just to read this document. So if you want to do, you can do this and test the debugging process once, but actual business logic and actual activity, from the next example we'll be starting. So any questions first? And before that, okay, so coming to the next topic, guys. So see, activity contains so many types of methods I said, right? Like in that we'll be having like obj methods. So mainly, see, every category of methods are important. See, but if you want to perform any data type actions, like or table actions, if you want to perform, see, table actions means like if you want to insert the data from UI page to the data table, or data table to UI, if you want to fetch any data, if you want to update any data, if you want to delete any data, like any actions if you want to perform, like fetch one record, fetch multiple records. So any kind of actions if you want to perform, so Pega has given for internal. See, Pega again contains one internal database will be there in every application. Apart from that, sometimes we may also communicate with some external databases. So internal databases when you're working, so Pega has given methods called obj methods. Okay, and when we are communicating with external databases, we'll be having methods called RDB methods. Okay, RDB I'll be using later, but initially we'll be starting work, we'll be starting on, starting with obj methods we'll be starting. So these obj methods main purpose is to implement any actions on the database. Internal means every application, web application contains one internal database. Okay, so example for this right now, postgres is the database we are having. Like that, in the real time when you're working on any project, it can be any database, one database will be configured as a internal database. So to that, any mapping, any UI mapping, any data mapping, any fetching, any action if you want to perform, so it will have some methods, obj methods will be calling. And these obj methods actually 4 to 5 categories we have. Okay, so today I'm not giving a complete purpose of all the methods. So today I'll be only giving some introduction to obj browse method. Okay, see what this obj browse will do means fetch multiple records. See, earlier I told you some process called dynamic records I told you. So dynamic records means from the data storage we are going to load. So any records if you want to fetch from the data storage, so using obj browse we can fetch. See, static records and dynamic record, two types of records I told. What are static records? At the time of creating a property, what are the records assigned? So those are static records. See, for some fields automatically you'll be having static records you'll be having, but for some fields you'll be having dynamic records you'll be loading. Okay, so how to load dynamic records means using this method. This is one way, but there are some other procedure also we are having in application, like report definition and data pages. So that also will be working. Maybe practically I will continue in the next session. Maybe if I start also, this cannot be completed with this. So what I'm going to do is I'll be continuing in the next session. I'll be continuing this example because I need to explain some parameters in this method. And after the debugging process also slightly different when you use obj browse method. In clipboard, debugging page will be created, one user page, and under that some configuration is different for this method. Maybe time will not be sufficient to completely explain. I'll continue in the next session. Tomorrow we'll be working on two things: how to fetch dynamic data and how to use the other rules. Also, we have same functionality we can perform using repo definition and all. So what is obj browse, what is repo definition, differences, case status, so that we'll continue in the next session. We'll continue. Okay, so go through this, and I told that videos will be uploaded by end of the day. So you'll be getting this video session updated in the end of the day. So in the drive access whatever given, just check in the drives. Okay, by end of the day, maybe because it is taking time to process the video. So by end of the day, you can access to this class topic, today's class topic. Okay. So any questions?